So today I want to talk about a car that so far I haven't understand why it sells, but it sells, and it's this one. Let's go drive it first. Tiny Lexus LBX. Yep. A car that no other salesman from other car companies will be able to explain to their bosses why they can't sell their EX30, Mini Aceman. Yeah, and yet this guy is selling. Let's drive it first. High HP. There was an episode of Top Gear where Jeremy Clarkson took a Prius to drive as fast as he can around the Top Gear test track, and all he needs to do is to follow behind in a BMW M3 with a 4-litre V8 engine, and the Toyota Prius ends up using more fuel. Yeah, that's roughly the case here. I came from Taman Desa to here, just SPE, and I used up one little box of fuel in a 1.3 litre hybrid, supposedly fuel efficient car. Yeah, that's how much fuel I used. Let's fill it up and see. Okay, something hilarious. Is my mic on? Very funny. I met a guy in a Civic Type R. He used to work for Lexus, and he is the guy who is the product planner of this car. If you guys don't understand what's the term product planner called, they are the guy who decide what spec to go into this car, what's the price, you know, how to package the car for the Malaysian market. So he's not the engineer per se, so I was like, bro, this car, I do not understand why it sells. I mean, relatively speaking, it's not like this car is pouring in numbers, okay, like the GR86 and all that. But for my understanding of Malaysia car market, all right, we are quite the bang for buck buyer, all right. We want high spec, we want power, we want everything. But somehow, this car, which has none of that, none, I'm seeing it everywhere. So my task today is to figure out why this car sells. Now, I've seen a couple of them running around. I think the design is good looking. It has a good looking design. The footprint of the car is much larger than the interior space that you have inside, okay? It is a very tight car. In fact, it might as well be the tightest car with 4 doors, aside from the Aston Martin Rapide. It is pretty tight inside. And where's the credit card lane? I need to go to credit card lane. Is there a credit card lane? There's no credit card lane. What the heck? Bro. Oh, credit card is here. Credit card. Okay. Alright, I'll continue the video later. Okay, first task. Okay, for a 1.5 NA, it picks up happily because of the hybrid motor. Right? Because it has the hybrid drivetrain inside, it picks up speed easily. But that is of course for initial pickup, because at the end of the day, it is a 3-cylinder, naturally aspirated 1.5 liter. It's not big. Tracking is pretty good. Tracking means keeping your trajectory at a relatively higher speed while the car comfortably sits and lets you track your trajectory without getting nervous or whatsoever. That means the suspension tuning, the steering tuning is all done really well. Okay. The interior is plush. Everywhere that you touch is the usual high quality Lexus touch points that, from my experience, lasts a lifetime. Okay, you step into a 10-year-old Lexus, it feels new. Wow, it's able to stick to its trajectory really well. So there's some work being put on by some car guy in the handling department, but I think that applies to all Toyotas now. Every single Toyota, after Akio Toyoda became chairman, they all handle, you see, they all does it really well. I mean, this is what, 125 km/h sticking into in my lane on a car that's supposedly not sporty, but it handles well. But then again, every Toyota does this. Yaris, Vios, Camry, you name it. They are all very, very tidy these days. Now, I suspect it's a CVT because it is making quite some noise at these kind of speeds, and the car just feels at ease. At these speeds, going through these bends, these kind of uphill, downhill, you see, wow, the car sits very nicely. Not bad. Not bad. So it's a car that, even though it doesn't have a big engine, it carries speed really well because the suspension is well sorted. So you don't feel afraid behind the wheels when you are traveling at a higher speed. Wow, that guy's dangerous, man, standing by the side of the highway. Okay. Noise. I think the road noise and the tire noise, the wind noise are all suppressed by the CVT gearbox. Because when you have a CVT gearbox traveling at these kind of speeds and then you are trying to accelerate, it will drown out any noise anyway. So, do I call it active noise cancellation then? Come on, man, you want to let me go, you just move in, then I will overtake, and then you can come back out. Yes, thank you, sir. Pedal to the metal, and yeah, not a lot of power, but the ability to just bring speed in and then keep yourself there comfortably, continue accelerating. Yeah. Very good handling. Very good handling. Very good steering weightage as well. Sort of a no-frills drive because you just carry your speed on. You don't feel nervous. You don't feel like the car is clumsy in any way. By no means sporty yet, because these are still wide bends. So I do not know how the car will deal with it itself later on. But so far it is cruising comfortably, keeping up to speed comfortably, except the noise from the CVT. Visibility is excellent. Front, rear, left, right, everywhere. Seating position is good. And it's the kind of car when you're at 128 kilometers per hour and then you put your foot down flat and nothing much happens. Then slowly you see your speed 130, 132. Yeah, that kind of car. I'm impressed with his body control. Very good body control. That means it has some form of initial roll, and then from there onwards the resistance of it versus the relationship with the weight of the steering wheel gives you good information on whether you can carry on with the turn or not. That is, of course, until the tires start making sound, which so far I haven't heard of yet. Okay. And there's no way I can outrun the X50 in front. That is a fast car. Suspension of the car is pretty okay, but steering weight, I wouldn't call it feel. Okay, steering weighting wise, I think this one is way better. But this car is twice the price of that. Twice, bro. Yeah, man, this car tracks so well. It tracks so well. The car just not nervous at all at this kind of speed. Very interesting. I'll just let the video run anyway, right? I should just let the video run. I'm not sure if there's a sport mode or whatsoever, but I see an eco mode, I see an EV mode, I don't see sport mode. Very interesting. Maybe I shall adjust the camera slightly so that you don't need to see me. It's okay. Interesting. It's like a Gran Turismo car. You just punch the throttle, wait for speed to climb, and then see how the car does it. Yeah, I can't see any sport button. I mean, there's no turbocharger, nothing, you know. There's nothing you can do. It's a 1.5 liter NA. What else can they do? There's no pedal shifters, nothing. So all I can do, so the sport button is your throttle. That's the sport button. Man, the car feels lightweight, light on its foot, just turns in comfortably, pliant, no power. Oh, uphill is where you feel the car. It's like, okay. But you can turn in so well, my God. It's the kind of car that carries speed. I'm reminded of driving the Mazda 3 on these roads. Just flat on the throttle and nothing much. I may not have the power to outrun this pickup as well. Okay, I do. I'm full throttle now. Nothing I can do to pick up speed because it's going uphill, flat on the throttle. Let go for a while. Oh, it turns in really nice. Full throttle, there we go. Oh well. Yeah, it's not a fast car. It's actually very safe because it doesn't have much power, and then it has really good handling, and it's not easy to get into trouble. There comes the fast cars. Whoa. Come on, man. I know you guys are fast. 1, 2, 3, thank you. You have to anticipate. People might ease out from a corner, right? Okay, I'll just do my full throttle. Yeah, my foot is flat on the throttle now. 86, 87, 89. Yeah, full flat on the throttle. Flat, not lifting. 89, 90, 91, 91, still 91, 90 because I turn the steering, it acts like a brake. 89, 92, some form of braking, turn in, full throttle. 70. Man, this car is slow. But it's fun because it handles. But for 270,000, this kind of performance is not fun. Thank you, sir. Is he trying to overtake the Estima as these kind of roads? No, right? Cannot be, right? You can tighten your turn halfway. Brakes are good because there's not much weight to brake anyway. Dive, dive, dive. Biker. I know you want to enjoy, but careful. That's where it betrays its weight. On S-bends just now, left, right, left, faster, and then you know the weight can't catch up. That means the body transfer takes longer to transition because at the end of the day, it is a taller riding car. It is essentially a tiny SUV. So what it can do well is this type where you turn, it sits, and then it sits comfortably and let you accelerate. But if you turn the weight transfer to the left and then you need to make another right, that's when it builds up the weight shifting and reveals its true origins of what it is. See, I felt the rear coming in later. Oh well. So this is the type of car for, like what they say, you know, grandmas who want a small car just to run around, you know. And I tell you what, without the Lexus logo, this car won't be able to sell. Without the promise of that comes together with the Lexus logo, right? Reliability and dependability, all that. There's no way this car can sell. Only Lexus can do something like this and consumers accept. I'm not saying that it's selling in sky-high numbers, right? By every measure, I don't think any family or anybody would buy this car as their first car, as their primary car. It is more like a runabout car, all right? With 2 extra doors at the back, 2 extra seats that you can ferry some unwelcome colleagues who wants to carpool in your car. That's about it, right? Let's see at lower speeds, tighter bends, steeper hills, how this car fares. Yeah, it will be this stretch. Interesting. Let's see. We'll see. Where you want to be, Mr. Pickup? Thank you. Okay, going over speed bumps. Oh, big short wheelbase. Oh. Full throttle. Full throttle, full throttle, full throttle. Yesterday when I crossed speed bumps at a slightly lower speed that is suitable for its wheelbase, it glides up and down really nicely. Just that just now I forgot this is a very short wheelbase car. So before the front fully comes down, the rear has already gone up, I guess. At least that's how it feels. Pretty high limit with this car. You can go very early on its throttle. The wonderful body control of this car, the handling tuning is the savior here. It makes the car delightful to drive. So let's say you're not driving like that, because maybe nobody who buys this car drives like that anyway. In your day-to-day drive, it is a very delightful experience because, you know, road tax is cheap, fuel consumption, I believe if you drive normally, it will be pretty fuel efficient because that's how the hardwares are, you know, small cylindrical count, hybrid motors to assist, naturally aspirated, right? The Vios is in my turning line. Never mind, this car does it well. You don't need much braking. There's a certain joy, flat throttle through these roads. Just flat, not lifting. Okay, here I need to lift a bit and full throttle again and then lost the power. Hiya! I think you guys can hear when I'm on full throttle versus when I'm off throttle. Very interesting. I'd only need to lift off, let the car sit, and I can go full throttle again. It just doesn't unsettle the car. Full throttle here. If there's the telemetry, visuals will be damn fun. You see this kind of roads and then on full throttle. Yeah, it doesn't have enough power to get itself into trouble. And then it's really well sorted suspension saves the day until it's uphill. La 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 la. Full throttle. Give it the beans. No more power. Help. Pick up speed. Full throttle here. This is funny. Full throttle. Don't leave me behind. I gave you the line. I gave you the line just now. I gave you the line, you know? Yeah, my line. Yeah. Okay, so that's the Lexus LBX when you're trying to do what Akio Toyoda does. And later on, I'll see how it is when you do the daily stuff. How does it sound like?
Like, ah! Is that the only sound you got out of the car?
Yeah.
LBX, is it?
Yeah.
Silent all the way lah.
So, let's come back to what this car is. Small car, at least perceived so, because I parked right next to a Golf Mark 7 GTI just now, and they are roughly the same size, the same footprint. But the interior of this car is so much smaller and tighter. The boot is not small. The boot is every way comparable to a Golf GTI, but this car can turn in so well. So, okay, sorry. It's a small car with no power, and I believe this sort of drivetrain, a 1.5 3-cylinder hybrid, will be extremely fuel efficient if you are just driving from your home to your saloon, driving from your saloon to the grocery and back home, pick up the kids, and all that. It's just perceivingly small because, again, it's the size of a Golf GTI, almost there, right? But the interior is really tight, impractical interior almost. Leg room behind is almost non-existent. You can barely slot your feet in. Your knees will be buried in the back of the front seats. Yeah, it's a car that by right should make no sense. And this is the top spec variant, as in the luxury variant. And the passenger seats are manual. The steering adjustment is manual. There's no sunroof, no moonroof, nothing. It's pretty interesting that people are buying this car. Yes, I get it. It handles. Look at that, the way it drives brilliantly. For lack of a better word, it's the kind of car where handles so well but no power, so you can full throttle anywhere you go. CVT is being CVT, they are annoying at full throttle. But the point of this car is like a personal little luxury mover for non-driving enthusiasts. Okay, because I believe what Lexus knew is that if you are a driving enthusiast, you would have gone for the 1 Series, you would have gone for your Mark 7 Golf GTI and all that. But what is the proposition of a Lexus? Being absolutely dependable, right? And this one is fuel efficient, no turbocharged nonsense here, and just a small hybrid motor and battery that recharges pretty effectively to give you the initial push, because on a small engine like this, what they want to eliminate is, let's say when the lights go green, you want the car to move, it moves immediately. And then when you hop into your car early morning, you start the car, it turns on the electric motor, not firing up your engine, and then off you go. And then it's, because of its good handling, it's easy to maneuver around town. Yeah, yada yada yada. Interior wise, the touch points are all pretty luxurious. Ought to have done it better there. I mean, a Ford would have done it better. I mean, the MK7 Golf would have done the speed bumps better. But it sells. I like this more than the UX actually, even though the UX is ever so slightly larger, I believe. As at least, again, in that word, using that word, perception wise. Brakes feel good. Brake and turn in feels really good. So it's a joyful drive. On paper, there is nothing that shines on this car. Absolutely nothing. But when you drive the car, you're sort of like, delightful. But is that a good enough reason to buy? No. Then why people buy? Because people who are buying these cars are not the poor who can just about afford their first luxury car. People who buy these are people who already have their 7 Series at home or their Alphards at home. They have multiple cars. They just want a small car to run about, and they wouldn't buy a Myvi or a Yaris or a Honda City because they don't want to see other poorer people in the car showroom when they service their cars. Yeah, that's the only logical reason. To them, spending 3 Series money, 320i G20 BMW G20 money on a tiny Lexus is no problem, because they might have just spent the same amount on a watch or a batch of red wines or buying some machineries for the factory they just bought, you know. So it's a little runabout car for the actual rich who just don't want hassle, who just want to roll around. Yep. And Lexus is a brand, is a company that has that Teutonic reliability that these people don't want to spend time think about, you know, about servicing, wasting their times in workshops, on tow trucks, all that nonsense. Yeah. And that's what this car is. Yeah. In essence, this is a car that poor people like us won't understand why they buy. Or on the other extreme, I don't know. I'm not sure if people who buy their first luxury cars will ever pick this over the others. Yeah, there are no objective selling points on this car. But there's a lot of subjective reasons for it. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Right. Let's go. Change plan. Remain the pot. Hey. Okay. Stop. Okay. Yeah. So I like the pot, but the plant has unfortunately passed away. So I get it replaced and learn how to take care of them. Alright, let's go. You know what's funny? So I have a big car, this one, the red Audi. It's a big car. But in situations like this, when I want to go downtown KL, I will immediately think, oh, I'll drive the Lexus. Even though that car, on paper, I will call it the most not worth buying car. Yeah. Okay, let's go. Open the hood. 这里没有脚踢。No. Okay. Are you okay 哦？前面都死了 ，die already。你的手指啊，顶着那 camera。Okay. Okay, let's go. Hello. Hello. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Welcome.
Okay. So, interesting.
Recording starts.
I will only do the walk around of this car later, but which I intend to say this car is not worth buying. But yesterday, when I go out in the afternoon, I pick this car over my bigger cars. At night, I go out for dinner, I pick this car over my bigger cars. And now I need to take a huge flower pot to downtown KL to exchange the plant with the pot. I love the pot, but the plant has died, which is a cause of me not knowing how to take care of it. But I picked this car again. Very interesting. So, yeah, let's go. So that means I am sort of realizing a case of cars like the Volvo EX30, which runs on electric. This one is petrol hybrid. You know, sometimes the engine fires up, so it shakes a bit. Sometimes it's in EV mode. Infotainment is useless until you plug in your phone. You plug in your phone, it integrates perfectly, but other than that, it's pretty useless. And quality is fantastic. Anyway, I'll go with the walk around later. So, yeah, remove this. Oh, this thing feels cheap. So cheap, so lightweight. But at least it fits. Yeah, hooray, new plants. New. Yeah. Well, it does its work. Small car. at least it gets the job done. Let's go.